Step 6. Step 6 is the biggest one. Step 6 is the one that if you will listen to me, it could change the quality of your life. Step 6 is the one that everybody likes the best. Step 6 is about building long-term income and then long-term savings. It is the one where once you've controlled that one, it'll make it better all the way. Step 6 is dealing with two battles. There are two elements at play here. Two battles that you must win in order to win the money game. And if you don't, then let me be quite strong here. The chances of you becoming financially independent probably won't happen. And if it does, it's way down the road. So the two battles that you must win are the inflation battle, and you'll see why in just a moment. And the second is the tax battle, because it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Taxes can hurt you if you're not careful. But first, let's talk about inflation. Have you heard of the rule of 72? The rule of 72 basically states that whatever interest rate that you're investing in, if you divide that into 72, that's how long it takes your money to double. For example, if you have 4% interest, if you divide 4 into 72, it will take 18 years for your money to double. Let's say that you have $100. And if you invest that $100 at 4%, then it will take 18 years for it to double to $200. Now, what will happen in 18 years of 4% again? That's right, it'll double to $400. So, but there's a problem. The problem is, 36 years from now, will $400 buy what $100 can buy today? Probably not. That's inflation. Now, John, if people are saving, then where are they saving? At banks, credit unions, fixed accounts, etc. And they're probably only getting 4%. You can see what's happening. They're losing purchasing power, and they may never retire. Big, big problem. Now, what are some potential solutions? Some potential solutions is looking at better interest rates, say anywhere from 6 to 12%. Let's look at an example here. Right now, let's say if we have a 29-year-old that has $10,000 to invest, and he, at the end of 36 years, if he invests that at 4%, he'll have $40,000. Now, he's 65, the kids are gone, the house is paid for, and he wants to retire, and he's got $40,000 to his name. How long is that going to last you? It's probably, with you, you probably last you maybe half that time. Just kidding, just kidding. No, but maybe a year, maybe a little longer if you're frugal. And then what? Then you're out of money. And the problem is you've run out of time. Because who wants to work past 65? No one. Who wants to work past 65? So, what's going to happen? Well, if they're left at investing at just 4%, they're going to be left without. Now let's say, however, that this person had an opportunity to invest at, say, 6%, 8%, or 12%. If this same person took the $40,000 and invested that $40,000 at 12% interest, he would have $640,000 at the end of that same 36-year period. That's amazing. That's amazing. That could change the quality of your life. The only difference between this guy and this guy is interest rate. This guy, it costs this guy $600,000. Now that's a pretty important principle to learn. That's pretty important. That's a pretty important principle for him to learn. So that means that in the long run, this person is going to be left without the possibility of being able to retire financially independent. This person with the $640,000, this person is going to be in a beautiful position. And the only difference between the two was the interest rate. And so here is the million-dollar question. Where can you get a decent rate of return, but yet have protection of principal, where you're actually guaranteed not to lose your money? That's the million-dollar question. Where can you invest and get a decent rate of return, yet have protection of principal, and be guaranteed not to lose your money? Well, there are several strategies out there. There are three big strategies that are out there. And I'm going to give you a synopsis of all three. Here are some of the strategies that are out there. The first strategy is fixed. With the fixed strategy, that means that they're getting a guaranteed amount of money, usually between 2 and 3%. It's guaranteed, but it is still risky because of inflation. Remember the guy that got the 4% and what it cost him in the long run? So it's risky because of inflation. On the other end of the spectrum, there is the market. And the market, that's where you're going directly in and investing in stocks and mutual funds. And of course, the high side of that is that you have the potential to earn a high rate of return. But the other downside of that is you also have the opportunity of high risk and the possibility of great losses. And then the third strategy is going to be the index strategy. Now the index strategy, with the index strategy, you have protected principal and protected interest. So that means that your money is protected and your money is guaranteed up to a point, up to a cap. And I will cover that in just a moment. So, but let me ask you this question. Of these three strategies, which one makes the most sense for you? Good. The index strategy? The index strategy is pretty popular. The index strategy is very popular. Let's talk about it. Have you heard of the S&P 500? The S&P 500 represents the 500 most widely held companies in 100 different major industries, like in medical, utilities, and on and on. And these S&P 500, it represents the 70% of the U.S. economy. It represents 70% of the total domestic equity market capitalization, or basically is 70% of the American economy. But get this. Over the last 25 years, the S&P 500 has averaged about 10% a year. Now let me ask you this. If you could have received 10% in the S&P over the last 25 years, I bet you'd be happy right now, right? Of course you would. Of course you would be happy. Well, when we get back together, if we've determined that the index strategy is suitable for you, then I will go over the specifics about the products, the cost, the floor, the caps, the terms and conditions. But for right now, I would like to give you an overview of the index strategy,